I can't see anything stopping us here, so let's go. Sly, do you read me? Sly.
Once again, my gang and I have given Inspector Carmelita Fox the slip.
The world's first Sly 1 run on emulator.
Finally, the secret
The
police
world's
file
first
was
submitted Sly run on emulator.
With this, I can avenge my family and regain possession of our most valued treasure.
This is, like Avatar said, this is the first run done according to the official rule set.
You see, I come from a long line of master thieves who kept all their secrets of sneaking and stealing in an ancient book. The Thievius.
My sum of best is displayed, Power Man. It's displayed currently as best possible time. My sum of best in any percent is 4312.
After all, there's no honor, no challenge, no fun stealing from ordinary people. You rip off a master criminal, and you know you're a master thief. Well, on the night I was supposed to inherit the book, 5 visitors came unannounced to our door. My father fought to protect us, but the gang of villains known as the Fiendish Five overpowered and ransacked our house until they found the Thievius raccoons. Our family's manual of hiding graves.
So you must use the original ISO, but never says anything about injecting a DLL. Nice, dude.
Farthest corners of the world to commit dastardly crimes.
Sly 1 any percent emulator with cheats, Pog.
Been alone, I was dumped at the town orphanage. There I met 2 guys who became my lifelong buddies and trusted crew. Bentley, techno genius and strategist supreme.
Best possible time is the one
Pledged to track down the Fiendish
live split feature that I think every single person should use.
I knew I was about to face the toughest test of my life. On the I would either become a master
Will you be allowed to use cutscenes cut save file? Yes, sir, random. The only reason I'm not skipping the cutscenes here is because I don't. Wait, what was I just saying? I completely lost my train of thought. Will you be allowed to use cutscenes cut save file? Yeah, the only reason I didn't do it is because I didn't want to take the time to set it up. Spark, I might actually have to bring that up. I might actually have to bring that up to the mods about in-game altering stuff.
As a young man, this hot-tempered frog grew
But that's so hard to tell, like if somebody injects a DLL file.
on a whim. He tried his hand at a bit of
Oh
piracy,
god, dude.
found it to his liking. Raleigh, who quickly became addicted to crime, was brought into the Fiendish Five as chief machinist.
Never seen this shit in my life.
Rose to new heights.
Come on, dude. Let's be real here.
The last reported sighting
Yeah, Avatar, if you'd like, you can make a post about it.
coast of the Isle of Wrath, a small island uncomfortably situated in the middle of a perilous Welsh triangle.
See, right now my frame rate is exceeding 60 FPS, but that's normal. That's just a normal thing. I'm not sure if you can actually change that. But if you look in the top bar right now, it says the frame rate's at like 60.2, 60.3. But that's just normal frame rate stuff, I assume. I think that should be fine. I don't see why it wouldn't be fine. Any particular reason why emulators got proven? So the reason we've been trying to get emulators to be allowed to be ran is specifically for the people that don't have access to the native firmware like the PS2, PS3. We wanted those people to at least be able to submit their times to the boards and practice the tricks and stuff without claiming a world record time, so they could still get a good run on emulator. It just won't be able to beat the world record. You have to do the world record on the native console. But it was mainly for just new people in the community that want to try out the run, don't necessarily have the right, the correct hardware to run the game on. They can still submit a run to the boards and still see their time up there with everyone else's. So that's really the only reason why, just to bring in more new runners to the community that wouldn't have otherwise ran the game. Stream gets really ugly with that bar. Yeah, I agree. The bar is kind of annoying, but it's the only real way we can assure that people aren't speeding up the game clock or the frame rate or anything like that. Also, I lost 3 minutes because I have cutscenes enabled. Saves so much time. Yo, good night, Chiz. Thanks for stopping by today. Alright, so here's where the reset comes in. So I'm going to move this onto the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing here. We're going to reboot full. Spark, please do that. I would love to see that. Yo, good night, D4K. Thanks for stopping by today, man. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Is there any PS3 only glitches and skips? No, most of the skips, Franco, are all the skips actually are doable in the NTSC PS2 version. What is my best World 1 exit? I think it's like a 310 or something like that. I honestly don't even remember. Oh, my best World 1 exit? Probably like a 5, maybe like a 510. Also, if I get a gold here, actually I can't get a gold. I messed up. If I get any golds, I'm gonna skip the split because they're not technically golds for me. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any like the crazy hard strats in this run. I kind of just want to get this run done and submitted. That's way faster than my reset. Come on, Doom. You can't switch from console to emulator, bud. That's not how this works. Yeah, Avatar, that's another thing I want to bring up is the fact. Oh shit. Fuck. That's the one thing I want to bring up is God damn it, why did I have to do that, dude? The FPS counter going above 60, because right now it's above 60. It's at 60.4, 60.1, 60.4, 60.1. Like, I don't know, dude. Bring up Discord to invalidate the run. Nice, dude. I don't know if that actually invalidates the run, but I feel like it should. Not only did I bring up Discord, I immediately exposed the moderator room. Nice, dude. But I think that's just a normal thing. Like the bar at the top where the FPS counter is displayed, I think that's just a normal thing.
Up in Mesa City, huh? I've always wanted to go to that.
I can't, I'm just gonna close Discord, dude. I'm just gonna close it. I can't open Discord. Professional mod, by the way. Dude, I don't know why, but it's so much harder to run this game on emulator. It just feels so bad compared to console. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so, like, slow. Like, there's so much lag. Whew. Yeah, the FPS definitely does fluctuate, Goy, but the rules state that it should never go over 60. But technically, it's going over 60. It's been, I think I've seen it at 61%. Or 61 FPS, rather. I'm also streaming from my PC, the same PC that I'm running on currently, and I'm local recording as well, so that's definitely a lot of CPU usage. It's going to fluctuate my FPS a bit. Rules are stupid. I don't know about that, Sparkles. Oh, right, I have to reset, so let's do this again. Bring up this, system, boot full. Yeah, the rules will change, boys. The rules will change. This run is specifically meant so I can figure out exactly what we need to change in the rules. This is literally day one. This is day one, boys. Everything is subject to change. Lock to 60 FPS should be the rule. See, that's the thing, Jedi. I have my frame limiter at 60 FPS, but it still goes over. And I think that's just to ensure the smoothing of the game, like the way the game like plays, right? Locked at 60 and not above 60. Yeah, that rule's a little vague. I agree. Oh, fuck. What? Oh Oh my god, dude, Monka S. That's another rule you could bring up too, Avatar, if you want, about the whole frame limiting thing. You could mention that. I'm gonna... Oh, dude, I want to open Discord and move it to my other monitor, but it's...
Found her scary. Teaching herself to summon the undead provided what few friends she had.
Oh, fuck it.
Career in crime allowed an adult Ms. Ruby to punish the world for fearing her as a child. Chief mystic for the Fiendish Five, her powers allowed them to break both the laws of man and nature at the same time. Yet despite the whirlwind success of her youth, she managed to slip into obscurity. Last known sightings claim she headed out of civilization deep into the Haitian jungle.
What happens if you view map out of mugshot and don't load? There's actually a faster strat there, Avatar. That's an advanced strat you can actually do. You can view map out of mugshot on the autosave. It's a frame perfect trick though. It saves 2 seconds, from what I remember. You have to bring up the view map like as the autosave pops up, like during the fade in of the autosave. I have my FPS locked at 60, Avatar. I think it's called like the frame limiter. It's either locked at 60 or 59.94. Here's another problem on Emulator. This is the problem that I was talking about. There's a cutscene here, and you can move around without loading through it. This is another problem. This is the only inconsistency that I've ever found with Emulator. There is a cutscene here. On the console version, you cannot move there. You have to load the game. On Emulator, you can gain access to movement there. I just want to point that out. That's the only inconsistency that I've found. On PSN, you can move there too. It's very weird. On NTSC PS2 disc, you cannot move there. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why that's a thing. I think that's a PAL thing, though. Which is weird because this is the NTSC version of the game. So what happens if somebody gets a community gold on Emulator? I didn't even think about that. This fish is pitiful. You're right, George. It is technically beating the record, and you definitely do have a say. Everyone, it's not like, I mean, the moderators have the ultimate say in things, right? But like, it's not like the community can't affect what the moderators do. So you guys' opinions matter more than you guys would expect, and anything you guys say will be tested and brought up. Yeah, we do, Avatar. That's true. Maybe it's worth it to add an emulator section to that. Although the community gold site for Sly 1 is literally like a mess at the moment anyway, so it's like we need to fix the boards themselves before we add a whole nother section. New board for emulator com golds. I mean, that's the only real way I could see it happening, Avatar. I don't think there's any real way we could link them without completely ruining it. Doom, I highly doubt emulator will end up being popular. I think so. The way, like, I'll try to explain our vision for emulator, right? So the vision we had as a community when it comes to emulators is we wanted people to be able to submit a run even if they didn't have the necessary like hardware to do it on. So like all those new runners that only have PCs that really want to try out the run and want to get at least a time on the board, we wanted to include them. So that's the only way. That's the only real reason we, pushed for moderator or for emulators being allowed in the first place, is to grow the community and help the people that don't necessarily have the money or whatever it may be to actually get a PS2 and the disc and run the game. We wanted them to at least have a time on the boards. So I don't think personally anyone's gonna grind for a world record on emulator. Like if they did, they're absolutely insane. But the goal wasn't for people to get an emulator world record. It was mainly for people to post a time, maybe 2 or 3 times on the boards and be like, hey, this is my time for Sly 1, right? Like that was the only real reason we did this in the first place. It's not for people to really improve their times. It's mainly for people to get into the game and figure out if they like to run it and if it's going to be worth it in the end for them to actually get a PS2 and actually grind the game. So I highly doubt there's going to be like a lot of people running emulator, if at all. I think probably me and Sonic are gonna have the first 2 times on the boards, and then after that, I have no idea. That's up to the community, really. Hey, what's up, Albie? Welcome to the nonsense that this run is. But I highly doubt there's going to be a lot of emulator runners, if at all. Although there is a person that did get like a 49 on emulator. I forget who it was. Somebody got a 49. It was like their third run, the third recorded run. Was it Riska? There's one run on the speedrun.com boards of the Vita. If you check the, I think it's, oh, what is it? I think it's a World 3 MTS. It's Grave Undertaking. If you look at the Grave Undertaking MTS, Paul has the world record on Vita. We allow it because we can. What are you referring to, Augie? It might have been, I don't know who it was, Albie. I'm not entirely sure. It could have been Riska. I feel like the user in Discord was Renew. Whoever Renew is in the community, I think it was Renew. Allowing emulator? What's a bad reason, though? Are you saying it's a bad reason to allow emulator because we just want new people to join the community? Because if anything, that's just a win-win, right? I mean, we've been pushing for this for a very long time. And we've been trying to be as transparent with the community as we possibly could with the whole thing, you know, letting people give their ideas and what they think the rule set should be. And like I said, it's day one. All the rules are subject to change. Like, none of these rules could be in place tomorrow for all I know. The whole reason behind allowing emulators was simply for the people that wanted to run the game, they could run the game. Which wouldn't affect any of the current runners or previous runners, considering the emulator runs are hidden by default and they cannot claim a better time than world record. I think it's a win-win personally, but I would love to hear your argument. Saying that the vision that people are gonna basically do a run and be, this is my run, never gonna run Emu again, is a bad reason to make a leaderboard? Really? I thought we talked about this, Augie. The whole vision behind it was like, so somebody, let's say I've never ran this game before, right? This is my first run ever, right? I'm just practicing all the tricks. I'm a new runner to the community. I just joined. And I'm like, hey, I want to try out the game. I want to practice the tricks. I want to submit a run to the leaderboard so I have a time that's been verified by moderators that people can go and be like, hey, there's my time, right? And then if they like the game, if they enjoyed the run and they want to get better and improve their time, they can get a PS2, get the actual PS2 disc, the game, and everything like that, a capture card, all that good stuff, and then actually continue running the game on official hardware. It was mainly just a gateway to get people into the community that can't otherwise get in or wouldn't otherwise try the game out, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. But Like I said, I would love to hear you guys' inputs on the whole thing.
The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on Panda Kid.
Oh yeah, I guess Fence Turtle did get a 49.
Born penniless, he was fascinated by the fireworks rich noblemen set off every New Year's. He spent a decade learning the art.
The only thing I've heard in all my years in this community is not going to create that leaderboard because it's not enough people who are going to run it and it's going to be inactive.
They couldn't see past his shabby clothes and chased him.
Wasn't that kind of the same with the Korean argument though? Because like wasn't the Korean argument like something along the lines of what if somebody from Korea wants to run this game and they automatically get like a 9-minute faster record or a 9-minute faster time than everyone else? And it was like the one guy that you guys chose, the one hypothetical person in Korea that would want to run Sly 2 on the Korean PlayStation downloaded version, right? I don't have a PS2. If I were to run Sly 1, I would do about exactly what you described. See, that's the thing. That's exactly what I mean, Hexu. I want to get people into this community. The more people here, the better, you know? The whole idea was to grow the community and allow people that don't have access to PS2s to actually run the game and get a time on the boards for it. And I think it's a good thing, Augie, that the moderator views have switched a 180. It's never a bad thing to change, in my opinion. I think it's always good to question people's beliefs, make them, you know, really think about what their stance is on a situation and maybe make a change, even if it's not the change that they wanted. If it's a change for the better of the community, I think it's a good thing. Like I said, the first thing I did when I became a moderator is I really tried to push for Emulator. That was the one thing I really wanted this community to really come together and make an official statement saying whether or not we should allow it. And the majority of the population, actually I think the unanimous vote was that we should allow emulators, but the rule set was kind of the issue with it, and that's what took us the longest time to figure out was the rules behind it. But yeah, like I said, this is day one. All the rules are subject to change. The point of this run that I'm doing right now is the only point of this run is to see, you know, what the capabilities of Emulator are and to see if there's any discrepancies in the rules. And before I even did a run today, we've already found problems with the current rule set. So we're gonna talk about it in the moderator discussion and figure out exactly what we want to do in the future. But for now, we're just going to have to go with this run as an example. And I think Sonic did a run last night or the day before on Emulator. So we have 2 full runs to look at on the boards with the current rule set. So at least the mods have something to go off of. And I feel like this stream there was a lot of good information. Like I learned a lot about Emulator in this stream alone so far. And I think a lot of people can watch this run and find out a lot about the way the game works on Emulator. Imagine there actually being a possibility to add a new leaderboard because the category is fun. Never had this much hope before. It's a good thing, Augie. I'm excited, man. 2020 is going to be a huge year for Sly. I hope to see a lot of new runners join the community. Hope to see a lot of Emulator runs being submitted. People switching over from Emulator to PS2. Another goal I want to see is I want to see how people how many people can get a 49 this year. There's like 8 runners right now that are so unbelievably close to getting a 49. Like I know Doom is so close, Alice is really close, X is so close, Jay is really close. I'm sure I'm missing a few people, but there's a lot of people that are right there. Sub 50 is going to be huge. But yeah, I would love to see you guys do runs if you guys would like. The more the better at this point. The more runs, the better for the moderators to look at and verify. Make them really question the current rule set, see if we can't make any good changes. I feel like there was a lot of problems with the current rule set, and in the past few months we've done a lot of good changes to the rule set. Oh yeah, Cinder. How could I forget about Cinder? I always think Cinder has a 49. Like she's been running this game for so long. Like she basically has a 49. Like she's had so many 49 pace runs going out like into World 5. But she's another one that's like right there as well. I think she's the closest currently to getting a 49. I think Prince is up there as well. I think Prince has like a 50, 51 or 52. Prince is another runner. If he comes back for like a month, that dude would get a 49. He just has to practice the game. Not mentioning my idol. Cinder is my idol. I think that's the only split so far in the entire run that I've saved time. Alright, here comes another proxy. So this should work exactly the same as console. Yep, exactly the same. That is exactly the same setup I would use on console. No extra height, no extra speed from that proxy. That was all exactly the same as console. Do you know unit speeds of slide running and slide jumping? Unfortunately, I'm not that well versed in the Sly 1 knowledge. I'm sure Remo has like a spreadsheet somewhere of all the times. All the unit speeds and stuff like that. Alright, so this was a really good flaming temple. Let's see if the load times affect my gold here. Bingo! Yep, that was a 1 second gold. My gold is extremely optimized in that split, so the load times are definitely faster on Emulator, 100%. So we're gonna skip that split. Yeah, that was an Emulator gold. It's probably one of the fastest times I've ever done Flaming Temple. We could try and find unit speeds on stream with Cheat Engine. Slide 2 and Slide 3 after figuring out all unit speeds. See, I would do that, Hexu, but I am so bad, like, with Cheat Engine. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I don't know if you've watched Sparkle's stream, but like I watched that stream and I feel like an absolute moron. Like I have no idea what he's even doing. Like I don't even know how to like change a specific address without completely crashing the game. Like I'm such a noob. But like, I'm sure Sparkles or Remo or somebody that's more well versed in the whole modding community could figure out the unit speeds for Sly's movement. I'm pretty sure Sparkles already has that movement speed, because if you open the debug menu in Cheat Engine when Sly's running, you can find his movement speed, or his unit speed rather. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on Sparkle's stream. But I'd be happy to learn. I just need some help from like you guys in chat, more experienced guys. Cause like I know basic stuff with Cheat Engine and like debug windows and garbage like that, but I don't know any of like the whole deal. Your falling speed should not change if you swipe your cane. Where do I map to? Oh, I exit level here. Nice, dude. That's true, Albie. From what I know, it doesn't change the speed, but I mean, it definitely could. Monkeys are everywhere. FPS went to 65 at one point? Really? That's so weird. I'm gonna check my settings after this run's over. So when I'm done with this run, I'm gonna show all of my PCSX2 settings for the moderators. Kind of like how at the end of an MTS you show the time in-game time, like on the menu, or the view map menu. I'm gonna try to do something similar to that. And so far, I haven't noticed any of the frame rate inconsistency really affect my in-game speed at all. But I'm sure it could affect the it can affect it at like a small. Oh shit! It's not how you. I tried to reset the game how you normally would. All right. I wish I could have a controller cam on
What was that for?
on like PS3, because I would love to make like more setup videos with like certain tricks. With my game or my controller cam. I like greetings, Avatar.
I began to notice something. In the four parts of the Thebes Raccoonus recovered so
I mean, you could do like hi, greetings.
shadowy owl-like figure
I like to keep my emote my emote like abbreviations as short as possible.
strange coincidence, or is there something I'm missing?
For my new emotes that I requested, I did abbreviations like Tamney H or Tamney W or Tamney P, stuff like that. It's almost been like 3 or 4 weeks now since those emotes I submitted those emotes to Twitch. I figured that they would be verified by now. Exodus's emotes were verified, Cinder's emotes were verified, Alice's emotes were verified. Still waiting on mine.
Bingo! My scanners indicate the clockwork is holed up in that owl-shaped tower. First things first, we've got hostile robo-falcons at 12 o'clock, Sly. Blackstone Tower, it's a giant's death ray. Sly, take out those rocks or we're in trouble. Heads up, the robo-falcons are back.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do after this random. I might mess around on Emulator for a little bit. I kind of want to do some episode 7 runs in Sly 2, because I was going to do that yesterday, but I had to leave early. I ended up finishing the learning of episode 7, but I never actually did a run with any of the new stuff I learned. So we might switch over to do some Sly 2 for a little bit. I'm not really sure. We'll figure it out, though. I want to make sure we get all this Emulator stuff done first before we switch over to anything else.
Looks like we're in the clear.
Hurry, that cave doesn't look tall enough for the turret to make it all the way through.
Hurry! There are only 119 computers up there, and these fire slugs seem intent on getting to them before us. The first one to 60 computers wins. Nice driving, Murray. Now we have enough data to open the security doors. Just past them is the control room to Clockwork's Death Ray Tower. I think it's time for some
Hay's pretty good, Avatar. I like Hay.
What you think, Sly?
All right. There's an inconsistency with console. you guys notice how I collected that charm there? It immediately appeared on my back instead of going in the air. That could be a definitely a problem for MTS. That's something to look into for the boys. The way charms are acquired on emulator, slightly different than on console. At least I think so. I'm gonna test that after this run. Somebody remind me to test the charms. If I forget. I want to test the Grave Undertaking MTS specifically. This might be a gold considering the load time.
Smash through those gears with your tape. You've got to keep moving.
That's another gold. Oh boy. What was like the god time to get before cutscene skips were allowed? Wasn't it like 55? Just casually about to get a 56.
Nice shooting, Sly. You got him. Wow, that's one tough out.
I don't get it. You're so familiar with my family. You must have known my father had a son. If you hated the Cougars so much, why did you let me live when you stole the Thievius Raccoonus?
Because I wanted to show the world that without your precious book, the Cougar line is nothing.
Ah, well, there's where you're wrong. The Thievius Raccoonus doesn't create great thieves. It takes great thieves to create the Thievius Raccoonus.
Enough, Sly Cooper. It ends here. I'll finish you like I finished your father. On the Cougar line, you race and the only master thief will be clockwork.
Alright, here we go, boys. The first emulator run is coming to a close.
My intellect is refined. My experience is greater.
Alright.
Now's your only chance, Sly. You've got to get to his head and destroy it before his auto.
I am. Never
55-41.
It took some tricky maneuvering.
So I'm gonna show you guys my current PCSX2 settings, so emulation settings.
I had taken down each member of the Fiendish Five.
These are all my settings.
Lolly, Mugshot, Ms. Ruby, Panda King, and finally Clockwork. I'd beaten them all one by one and reclaimed my birthright. Of course, there was no way I could have gotten here without the help of my pals. I know this hasn't been easy for them, but they stuck with me through it all. Murray, boy, it took a lot of guts for him to get out in the field with me.
There it is,
He was
boys.
scared, but he's
All
got more
done.
heart